Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner reached a temporary custody agreement for their daughters. Sophie gets to keep the kids around Christmas. Stay tuned for the rest of the video to learn more. Hey guys, welcome back to my Taylor Talks channel. If you guys are new here, make sure to click that like and subscribe button. Today I want to talk about Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. About a month ago, early September, Joe actually filed for divorce against Sophie. Quickly after, the both of them actually posted on their Instagram, basically saying that after all the years they've been together, they decided to part ways, and it seemed pretty mutual and respectable. However, things sort of got dicey, as it's been rumored that Sophie actually learned that she was getting a divorce from Joe just as the whole world was learning. And according to reports, she quickly found out that she was not allowed to take her kids outside of the US to the UK where she was living. Sophie then sued Joe Jonas, basically claiming that he was withholding both of their daughters' passports so that she could not take them outside of the US to the UK. Joe Jonas denied that he was abducting the children and said that they both communicated where the children needed to be at the moment and that they both agreed that they would be in the United States. Fast forward to today, according to People magazine, both of them have reached a temporary custody agreement for their daughters until the beginning of next year, around January. Last week, both Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner were in productive mediation in front of the courts from October 4th through the 7th as they tried to work out who would be taking care of the girls at all times. And they both agreed on a temporary schedule again until January or December 23rd. So from October 9th, so yesterday, to the 21st, the children will be with Sophie Turner in the UK. So she is now able to travel outside of the United States to England. Now, this is significant news because before this temporary custody agreement was put into place, Sophie Turner was not able to take her daughters outside of the United States. She was not able to take her daughters to England. Now, since the divorce was announced last month, Sophie Turner has been living in New York. At first, she was living in a hotel, according to People magazine, but then her fearless BFF Taylor Swift allowed her to stay at her apartment. So Sophie Turner was able to move into Taylor Swift's humble abode, and her kids have been able to visit her while she's been in New York. So again, from October 9th through the 21st, the kids, their two daughters, will be able to live with Sophie Turner, and she is allowed to travel to England and throughout the United States. Now, on the 21st of October, Sophie Turner or the nanny has to return the kids to Joe Jonas, and Joe will be able to have the kids until November 7th. And Joe is able to travel to England and throughout the United States as well if he wants to. And then Joe Jonas has to return the kids to Sophie Turner November 7th, and then Sophie has to return the kids November 22nd. So essentially, Joe will be able to be with the kids for Thanksgiving, and then Sophie will have the kids for Christmas. And then by December 23rd, they both have to submit a status report letter, basically outlining the status of their mediation between the two at that point. And I do want to note again, this temporary custody agreement did come about quickly after Sophie filed a complaint against Joe Jonas for wrongful retention of their children last month. And fans are speculating she did that because she wasn't able to take her kids outside of the United States to her home in England. Now, a lot of people were speculating as to where the family was living before Joe Jonas filed for divorce. Were the kids in the United States? Were the kids in England? Now, Joe, he did release a statement saying that the vast majority of their daughters' lives were spent in the United States and that they are American citizens. However, a few days later, Sophie Turner submitted a bombshell letter in which Joe Jonas was writing a letter to the homeowner at the time, expressing why they wanted to buy the house and how he envisioned raising his family at the house in England. So even though the kids mostly lived in the United States their entire lives, it seems like both of them, Sophie and Joe, were planning on moving to England to live there permanently, and England is where she wanted to take her kids. Now, I am glad that these two were able to reach some sort of temporary agreement. It seems like every 15 to 20 days or so, they will be switching off the kids between each other. Most likely, Sophie will go back to England, and Joe will most likely keep the kids in the United States. I'm curious to see how all of this will work out once the daughters, reach a certain certain age where they have to go to school. Are they going to go to school for 2 weeks in the United States? Are they going to go to school for 2 weeks in England out of a month? I've seen some speculation online where people are asking how are the kids going to be able to go to school in both England and the US, but I think there's plenty of time for them to work that out. I think it definitely helps that Joe is touring right now with his brothers and he has people around him to support him during this time, and I think it's amazing how Taylor Swift totally stepped up and allowed Sophie and her daughters to stay at her place during this time. And not only stay at her place, but according to different news outlets, Sophie and Taylor Swift have been hanging out with each other. They've been seen at the Kansas City Chiefs games. They've been having girls' nights. They've been having dinner together. There's always been that mutual respect and friendship throughout the years that Sophie was actually married to Joe Jonas, especially when Mr. Perfectly Fine was first released. We all know that Taylor Swift and Joe Jonas dated each other a while back, I think for like 3 months, and then he famously broke up with her over a phone call that lasted 25 seconds. So, of course, when Taylor Swift is releasing all of this music, all of the songs that she's written about her ex-boyfriends, sometimes her fans, and rightfully so, get really caught up about the songs and they try to troll or try to bash that person. And I think because Sophie Turner was married to Joe Jonas at the time of the re-release, Joe really didn't get any sort of trolling because Sophie Turner was totally down with it and totally cool with it. She even called Mr. Perfectly Fine a bop, and her and Taylor have had that friendship for years, and it's so great to see both of them sticking together, especially during Sophie's time of need, and that's honestly what we need in life. I truly hope that Taylor Swift has a friend that acts just like her. Hopefully that's like Blake Lively. Pretty sure it is. And I want to know what you guys think. Are you guys happy that these two were able to reach some sort of temporary custody agreement? Curious to see where you guys think the kids will stay full time. Were you guys even expecting this divorce? You guys love that Sophie Turner and Taylor Swift are hanging out? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe for some more Taylor Talks. And as I always say, guys, stay safe. See ya.